So this thing stops working on Zoom all the time. I have meetings like all day, and this thing is always like just not working. Um, and I know it works. Like the only thing that's broken on it is this, but it still stops working. Um, Here's what I can do. I'm gonna turn this up. Hello, hello. There we go. So yeah, it's just like I've always had a weird thing with technology. Like technology stops working around me. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people that happens to. Welcome to today's meditation. I have to be honest and let you guys know, you especially, that these meditations, if you're watching them live, if you're like trying to set your schedule by it or trying to plan your life by these meditations, I hope you're not doing that. But if you're like expecting to get these in the morning before you start your day, you're gonna have to do the days before. Like, think of my YouTube channel as a library for these meditations. I did start a podcast too, so because like they're listening things. But what I noticed is like I didn't start a separate podcast for it. I just used a similar feed and it kind of overwrote a different podcast. So I gotta figure that out. But if you go to my website, there is a meditation up there. And yeah, so it's in the podcast form now. So you can listen to it instead of just watching me. Or if you pay for YouTube Premium, you can, press the little headphone button. That's what I do. So yeah, the point I was trying to make is these meditations are going to come out regularly, weekly, right? So it's not going to be the same time every day, and it's probably not going to be every day, even though I know I said it every day if you watched that first video, which you probably didn't because only like 3 people watched that. But the point is I'm trying to make a habit of meditating with you, but it's not going to be at the same time every day. So just do me a favor. If you see me live, pop on and meditate with me because that's cool. The energy's always going to be better, but just think of this as your little secret weapon for when you can chill out, right? So I guess I'm competing with Headspace, but these are guided. And what I was thinking about yesterday is I know when like the people I follow who helped me along my path, they usually, not Master Co. Master Co goes free. Go do his meditations too. He does it 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, twice a day. So 6 times a week meditations, morning and night. But what I used to notice is like people would do like one free guided meditation and they'd like sign up for my coaching and buy this meditation package and stuff like that. And that's what I'm not doing. So these are literally just for you to do your thing with. And maybe you'll have to subscribe to YouTube. But like I said, I put it out in podcast. So, and I will clean that up at some point. But the main point of what I was trying to say is, while I do like doing these meditations, it's not my priority. So my priority, first and foremost, is always going to be building the business, right? Because frankly, that's where I'm most effective, right? As much as I want to say I'm most effective leading meditation, I'm not. It's something I'm still learning to do, and it's not like there's a million people watching this right now. So the business is going to come first. The business buys me the time to be able to do this with you. So today I had meetings all day, and I did yoga this morning, but that was it. I didn't even really get a chance to do a full meditation, so that's why we're here. Okay. So meditating at night, especially after you get out of work, is it's always interesting because the energy level is more condensed. It's like packed, like, right? And here's something that is something I've been holding on to that I'll give to you. I gave it to my fiance Chelsea, and I think it's definitely true. I know it's true. So everything about spirituality is counterintuitive, right? And so What that means is the way you would think it works is almost guaranteed to bring you suffering, right? So if you read the Tao Te Ching, which I recommend you read, they talk about the way, right? And then it says like those who know about the way don't talk about the way. Those who talk about the way don't know the way, right? And that same idea you can apply to yourself internally. So the thoughts of the way are almost not the way, right? The way is in front of you. It's there to deal with, contend with, respond to, but your way is not the way, right? And until you align your will, right? So the point is because everything about spirituality is counterintuitive, if you go about doing things the way you would think you're supposed to do it, you're gonna bring yourself pain and suffering, undue pain and suffering. And so everybody experiences pain and suffering along the path, but the thing is like you don't want to put yourself through shit that you don't need to go through, right? And we've all done that before. So the idea is to do as little of that as possible while you're finding the way, right? Because nobody said that you have to suffer along the path of enlightenment. Nobody said that, right? The people who do say that, which I don't think anybody's ever said that, but the people who do say that are trying to control you. They're after power and dominance and all that type of shit, and that is not the way. So, sometimes you wake up and it's like somebody gave you something to bring, right? It's like, hey, here's this scroll. I need you to deliver this message. Sometimes you just wake up and you're like, damn, that was a crazy ass dream. And you just have like one thought in your head, like a fucking rod, right? And today, I woke up with one of those in my head, and it wasn't what I just shared with you. What I woke up with in my head was this. I didn't forget it. I'm just trying to remember it the right way. I don't want to change the words because it was so clear in my head. If you ever take psychedelics, this thing happens all the time when you're like, I got it. I got the keys to the universe. I know all the answers. I gotta hurry up and write them down. And as soon as you start looking for a pen, it's all just like falling out of your head, and you're like, no. And then by the time you're ready to write it down, you can't remember anything that you were just saying, right? Okay. That bought me enough time to remember this. So, another thing. If you listen, I'm fucking 28, right? I say so, and more times than you're gonna agree with, and that's just a byproduct of what we've done to get here, right? So, please accept it, move past it, don't resist it, because it's gonna keep coming, right? It's actually your spiritual challenge, right? So the idea that I had in my head that literally to me seemed like an actual physical thing was that spirituality is the fundamental building block of all religions. And that's exactly how it was in my head. Spirituality is the fundamental building block of all religions. It's the main premise. It's the thing, right? So if you're like, it's funny because I just bought a book called this, and then I just had a meeting with a gentleman who has a book called The One Way or something like that. It's hold on. Let me see if it's in here. What is it called? Life's One Law. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Yeah, Life's One Law. And so it's just interesting how when information is presented to you, it's almost always presented from like real, true information is almost presented from like 3, 4, 5 directions at a time. Maybe it's 7. Maybe 7 directions. No, who knows? But I figured I was supposed to like have something more than that, like a sermon or something, but I don't think it's necessary. And frankly, I don't do my homework, so you're never gonna get me reading off a fucking piece of paper. But I was thinking about it, and I'm like, fuck, man. I've always known that. I've always known it intuitively because I say like I don't disrespect religion. I understand it. You know, I talked about it on the last video. Like, hey, this shit kind of helps some people, right? But I think recognizing that spirituality is the fundamental building block of all religion, and then recognizing that 80% of the world is at least monotheistic or polytheistic. When you see those two things, then you realize, like, kind of how honorable people are. Like, it kind of gives you permission. Like, these are just objective truths, right? And then if you look at, like, I kind of explained what spirituality was last week. And so if you look at, like, what spirituality is, and then you understand that it's actually the fundamental building block of all religion, you're like, fuck, man. Like, and then 80% of people in the world are monotheistic or polytheistic. You're like, huh. Well, if that's true, and I'm a programmer too, right? So I always like to find, or a systems engineer. I'm a marketer, right? I always like to find the through line between things because, like, I'm a politician too, right? Because when you find these commonalities between people, then it's a choice of whether or not like, what to look at, right? Because for the most part, until you're, like, while you remain ignorant, you kind of don't see the other side. Like, to you, there's nothing there, right? And so you're like, I don't get it. But if you realize that, well, actually there's an all-encompassing circle and you're all in that circle, then you realize, like, wait, maybe we are all standing on the same thing, right? Like, languages are different, right? Cultures are different. Why wouldn't we assume that spirituality would be different geographically, right? Wouldn't that kind of make sense? But if you look at the mystics or the masters, and you really, this is something Master Ko talked about on one of his, I think 2 weeks ago, his meditation. He was meditating with Tony Robbins, and they had Sadhguru and Eckhart Tolle there. I think I talked about this too. Basically, they were saying that, like, they're all talking about the same thing, right? You're a soul on a path, on a journey. You're not your body, you're not your thoughts. You're here to learn. The earth is a school, right? You're here to learn how to forgive or how to move on, how to love, all that type of stuff. The stuff that you learn when you're a kid, but you kind of just disregard as you grow up. Like, that shit's obviously not true, right? But it's actually more true than you think, right? And so it's funny because for me, Jeshua is a teacher of mine, Jesus, right? And he says a lot of things, right? But the thing that it's funny because I had the guy whose book I mentioned earlier, like he pointed out something that was like Jesus is fucking doing the same thing, right? And these are it's the idea of the illusions of the mind, right? And so somebody wrote a book called The Theater of the Mind, and it's kind of along the same line of those ideas, but it's taking it another step further and telling you that, like, these mind pictures aren't real, right? They're illusions. And then basically what you see isn't real. And actually, like, if you want to look at the science of this, they'll tell you, no, your brain is actually not connected to anything. It's actually self-contained inside the skull. It actually doesn't have connection to any of the sensory organs or perceptions. It literally just sits inside a box. It has, like, some fucking fluid around it, and that's it, right? Like, there's no actual functional connection between the brain and the sensory perception organs. So the picture that you have inside your head, it's funny, as I said that, my thoughts scattered, right? The picture that you have inside your head is made up, right? And if you look at the teachings of anybody who's ever really teaching something, they all are teaching that, what is it, I can't remember the teaching, the branch, but there's the idea of the metote, right? The modics, or I don't know. There's so many fucking different things, but they all teach the same shit, right? And so for me, I always wanted to be able to pull from all of these different things because I knew there was a through line, right? And the through line is spirituality. And spirituality is kind of interesting because it's what Robert Greene would call a self-directed apprenticeship, right? And so to me, Robert Greene is a master, right? He actually wrote a book called Mastery that teaches you how to become a master. And so what you kind of recognize as you start approaching this spiritual hierarchy or this dynamic spiral, right, throughout life, is that everybody's on it. Everybody's at a different level. And just as easily as you can go up, you can go down, right? And actually, it's easier to go down because it's a curved staircase, and it's smooth, and it's a spiral, and you can literally just slip and fall down, right? And the point I want to make is that we are all on this path together. And to me, I always think it's interesting. You know, they say like breaking the glass ceiling or like climbing the ladder. I always am kind of impressed with the people who climb the ladder and then turn around and pull the ladder up behind them and start throwing fucking eggs and tomatoes down at the people down below. That was always very interesting to me. And I think that's one way to live, right? But I never appreciated that. And I assume that the way you're actually supposed to live is you take what you learn and you pass it to the person behind you so that they can go in front of you, right? And that's always felt true to me. I actually just saw it happen in real time, like 20 minutes ago. And this stuff is kind of weird because it takes a long fucking time to actually start seeing results, right? When you start doing this stuff, like unless you're really willful about what you're doing, it takes a long time to find the sweet spot of like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, what am I here for? Why do I keep doing this shit? Waking up, having the same day over and over. Like, what the fuck is going on with my life, right? And when you finally start to figure that out, it's amazing how many things just seem like they're flowing down the spiral right at you, waiting for you to fucking jump them, get on them, or like take them and use them, or like life just starts flowing, right? And it's not that life starts flowing with opportunities and all the great things. Like, life just starts moving faster, and it makes you run faster, right? Ed Milet said, pedal faster, right? Pedal faster. Like when life fucking speeds up, pedal faster, because if you don't, you're gonna fucking, it's not like you got one of those gear bikes and you can just coast. If you don't, you got one of those old school Huffies, right? That you had when you were a fucking kid, that you fucking go down the hill and you like pedal backwards to screech and well, what happened when you were going down a hill and you couldn't pedal fast enough and you had one of those bikes? Yeah, you smacked your fucking shins, right? I did that more than once. That's what happens in life if you don't run faster, right? Because the whole fucking point of this game is to make you stronger, to make you more capable, right? To prove that everything you think you can't handle, well, actually, you can handle it. And right now, right this very minute, you have to handle twice as much as you just were 2 seconds ago. And that's the reality of life, right? Because it's meant to show you what you're truly capable of. Not what you think you're capable of. Not what you want to be capable of. Not what your fucking mom says you're supposed to be capable of. Wait, that person who doesn't fucking know you says you can or can't do, right? Not what your family did. Not what your fucking heritage did. Not what your fucking skin color did. But what you are actually fucking here to do. And it's funny because, I'm getting older now. Not really. But I talk to a lot of people. I've met a lot of fucking people. And I've had a lot, I don't have bullshit conversations. I don't talk about the weather. I talk real shit, right? So you either get with it or get out. And the people that get with it, it's always interesting to me because they have this thing. They know they have this thing. They talk about having this thing. But they have a job. Or they have kids. Or they have a sick mom. Or whatever. Right? They have these things. And these things seem to hold them back from what they really want to do. Right? The thing that they never realize is they're capable of doing both. They're capable of doing both and 1,000 other things. Right? We as human beings put limits on our capabilities, and we call those ceilings. We call those fucking burnout. We call those motivation, beliefs, goals. These are all fucking made up things in our mind that are milestones in a fucking journey that doesn't stop until you die. So if that's the fucking truth, it doesn't stop until you die, and you actually haven't died yet. You're probably fucking nowhere close to it, right? Unless you did something stupid. You're nowhere close to fucking death. So why do you think that you can't do this? Why do you think that you need to maintain your energy? Who's giving you a limited amount of energy? Right. You believe you have a limited amount of energy. You believe these things. Who told you they were true? Right. And that's the thing. That's the whole point of these things. Everything about spirituality is counterintuitive. I started this conversation up by telling you what your mind would tell you is true, what the evidence would show you is real, is false evidence appearing real, right? Why do you think you get so fucking stressed out when you watch the news? Why do you think when you go out in public you get fucking tense and shit? Because you know that's not real. That's just fucking people reacting to stimulus. That doesn't mean it's real. Right? What's real is the shit that you do. The stuff that you know you go through every single fucking day, that's the real shit. That's the real shit. What you're in there, day in and day out, dealing with your fucking self, that's the real shit. Right? And as you learn how to fucking do that, you become more capable. You become stronger. You become more confident. You have more self-respect. You have more energy, right? It's like becoming an adult. When you're a fucking kid, you're weak as shit. You can't do nothing, right? As you get older, you get stronger. Nobody said there's a certain age when you start losing energy. If you talk to the highest of fucking peak performers at 70 years old, they'll tell you they're just getting started. Right? Jeff Bezos says every day it's day one at Amazon. That dude's over 50 years old. What's he talking about? The thing that they did was stop making excuses. Tom Bilyeu says the single most sinister thing about excuses is that they're valid. Right? Yeah, that's true. I don't know your story. You don't know my story. We don't need to know each other's stories. They can both be true. But they're a fucking excuse. Right? That's all it is. It's always an excuse. Chelsea tells me this all the time. You're making excuses. And I am. I make excuses. You think just because I'm saying it to you doesn't mean I don't do it? This is how I know this shit. Right? Like, we're all here doing the same thing. The best thing you can do is stop acting like your situation is any different than anybody else's. We're all dealing with the same shit. Right? And the fucking person that comes out and says it, that's the one people want to hang out with. That's the one people want to give opportunities to. That's the one people want to put in a fucking leadership position. Hire them. Fucking whatever you want. It starts by acknowledging the reality that you live in every single fucking day. Jordan Peterson says, acknowledge that you fucking suck. Right? Acknowledge that you're actually in this world worthless. Like you might have had experience, but you haven't done the fucking work to get skills. Right? Like, that's what the work is. And the work isn't getting the skill. The work is you showing up day in and day out, making a fucking commitment to yourself that you're going to be better than when you started. You're going to put in the effort. You're going to believe that you can fucking do it. You're going to put in the energy. You're going to fucking act like you're somebody that you believe in. Right? You're going to act like you're that fucking homeless person that you just gave money to. You gave that fucking person money because you believe they can fucking find something someday. Or if they just put their head down and figured it out. Right? You didn't do it because you felt sorry for them. You did it because you had hope they might use that money for something good. Why don't you take that same thought and effort and put it on yourself? Why don't you stop making excuses for who you are? Right? Stop making excuses for how you were brought up. It doesn't fucking matter. That shit was a long time ago. Jesus says it's made up. We talked about this last time. Every time you fucking remember something, you change that memory. So if you're basing this shit on a fucking negative past or whatever you think, you're actually fucking lying. Yeah, I know. The hardest thing for me to do is to admit it. Because I came from the darkest of the dark past, right? It's all made up. It's all a fucking lie. Like, yeah, maybe I was there, but maybe I wasn't, right? I know that, it's funny, I wrote about it in the book. I have pictures of me looking at myself, having it happen to. Like, your mind is the ultimate tool of deception. And you can deceive yourself just as quickly as you can think you can. Right? That deception is so elusive, you can't even see it slip in. And it cloaks your eyes like a thin haze. Like you need to wear glasses, but you don't have them on. Right? But you know what happens when you take your glasses off? You realize the truth. And you realize that, like, I've been fucking struggling to see when all I had to do was fucking take these things off. Right? Like, finally, I can see clearly. The rain is gone. All of these things that are cliches. When you finally start looking at yourself more deeply, you can see the truth was there all along. And it was you. So why don't you start believing in yourself? Okay? Let's meditate. Before we start, let's ask for a blessing. To the Divine Supreme Father, Divine Mother, to all the holy elders, saints, sages, spirits, ascended masters, especially to our teacher, Joshua ben Joseph, the one we call Jesus, we humbly ask for your guidance, for your love, for your acceptance, for your protection, for your light, for your teachings, for your wisdom, for your friendship, for your mentorship, for everything you do for all of us down here on earth. We love you, we appreciate you, and we thank you with gratitude. Amen. Okay. Oh, something I wanted to mention was I figured out how to do the instant meditation. Basically, you just snap your fingers and you're there. You gotta wiggle your hips though, right? That's why girls do it all the time. They're meditating. No, it's what we do, just sped up. That's all. So eventually, you get to a point where, as you're going through the warrior's meditation, it takes less and less time to fall into the senses, and in that you can apply the instant meditation. Okay. So let's get ready. Why don't you take your hands, point them to me. Did you feel that? Go ahead and press this right here. Press this right here. Raise the roof. Raise the roof. Take your hands and just start washing your hair, but don't touch it. Act like they're full of shampoo, lavender shampoo. It smells good, right? Lavender and sandalwood, that's what it is actually. If you want, you can check out my Shopify store for more. Lavender and sandalwood.rileyseaburg.com. Maybe that'll be real someday. So we're just taking a shower. Keep your clothes on, especially if you're in public. And yeah, we're just trying to clear some energy. That way we don't have to try so hard in our meditation. If you ate some like a heavy lunch, you might have to try extra hard down by your stomach. It's okay. We don't hold it against you. So go ahead and take that little ball of energy, start your spiritual fire, throw it in the bin, douse the flame. Now that that's taken care of, put your hands on your waist, on your lap. Go ahead and take a deep breath. Hold it. Deeper. Hold it. Swirl it. Let it go. Hold it. One thing you want to notice is how sensitive to the energy change your body is, especially when you're doing this vagal breathing. Make sure you're sitting in a somewhat stable chair because you can't just pass out. So exhale all the way. Go ahead, take a deep breath. Hold it. Swirl it. Let it out. Hold it. Deep breath. Hold it. Swirl. Let it out. Woo! I'm telling you, man, these evening meditations might be more powerful than the day ones. Deep breath. Hold it. Swirl it. Let it out. Last one. Inhale. Hold it. Swirl it. Let it out. Just go ahead and take a nice gentle breath. Should have felt a pretty significant amount of energy just clear. I am word through each one present. I have come, I have come, I have come. I am word through the one that stands before me. Word, I am word. And from here, what we're going to do, kind of just let the energy simmer a little bit. Probably still adjusting, especially if you engage with a lot of people today. What you're doing is just coming back to your own energetic vibration. And as you can tell, the more you interact with other people, the more you have to work to maintain your level of awareness. Eckhart Tolle talks about falling down into unconsciousness as a daily ritual, right? And that's something you don't want to get into the practice of. Just be careful when you get into this stuff. You don't want to go to head first. Everything takes time, and I'm telling you that this stuff is really disorienting. Especially because these submodalities that we are tweaking are very sensitive, right? And so something like the vagal nerve is extremely sensitive, and it controls a lot of your body. So it's like, learn what you're doing first and do it in a safe setting. Don't do this shit when you're driving. Even practicing mindfulness when you're driving, when you're approaching this, can be enough to put you into unconsciousness, and a lot of times you can just fall asleep right then and there. So just recognize it's something to watch out for. It's nothing to be scared of. But I just wanted you to feel that, because we could end this meditation right now and it would be worth it. But what we're going to do is we're going to turn the knob up even more. And this is something we haven't done before, but it'll make sense if you catch my drift. What we're going to do is, while we're approaching our senses, we're going to be sending violet light out to the world, right? So we're going to put ourselves in the sun, send light out, and then pick up our senses from there. So it's going to be a little bit different. It might be disorienting, but I just want to try it and see where it goes. All right, go ahead. Tap the top of your head. Tap the front of your head. Tap right here. Push your palms. Go like this. All right, feel that? You can feel it. I know you can. Okay, go like this. right, squeegee that off, and then just go like that, just like that. Okay, pull it back. Make like you're putting your face in like plastic wrap, right? Just pull it back. Okay, keep doing it. Imagine you're just peeling back a layer of I don't know, something that peels back. Hold it, pull it, grab it off, start your spiritual fire, throw it in, add some water. See that shift? So what we're gonna do is tap right here, back of our heads where our neck connects to our head. Just go like this. Trying to give yourself a massage. Go all around your neck. Just get rid of a lot of that tension, anxiety, and neck stress. Right here should be like incredibly sensitive by your jaw, right? So these are all meridians in our body, and meridians are temporal zones that kind of just store potential. And a lot of us, we just go for the other side naturally. So we don't necessarily store the best possibilities in these zones, and that's what you feel is discomfort in the body. The Chinese will tell you that. But the idea of what we're going to do is we're going to bless the earth while we're doing this. And so from here, go ahead and close your eyes. Keep them open. Keep your eyes open. Hold your hands out. Imagine a hologram of the earth in front of you. If you're not sure what a hologram is, Google it. Imagine there's a hologram in front of you of the earth and it's spinning. And you are sitting back in the sun. It's a hologram, so it's not hot. And go ahead and just tap your hands real quick. Go like this. Push them against each other. 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 Okay. Put them up just like this. I didn't do anything. I just want you to see it's real, okay? So, put your hands out. We're not going to fight. We're going to bless the earth together. So look at the earth. Repeat after me. I am that I am. I'm not the body. I'm not the mind. I'm not the emotions. I'm not even the thoughts. I am the soul, the spiritual self, the Atma, the monad, the Christ incarnate, the enlightened being. I am a spiritual master. I am that I am. The earth should be kind of getting a little bigger at this point. Just let it do its thing. I am word through the one that stands before me. I am word through the one that sits before me. I am word through all that I see before me. Word, I am word. I know who I am in truth. I know what I am in truth. I know how I serve in truth. I am free. I am free. I am free. From here, we're just going to chant Om 3 times to open the portal. Then we will dive into our senses. What's up, man? Glad you made it. Alright, keep your hands out. This is the only difference. Typically, you put your hands on your lap. Keep them out. Keep the world in front of you. Keep sending out love, hope, trust, faith, all those cool things. Light, violet light. And from here, just going to follow the breath through your nose. Close your mouth. Notice as it passes through your nose, your nose is probably a little bit congested, a little more dense than it typically is. Just notice the air pass through it, and as it does, your nose relaxes. Just keep letting the air pass through your nose. As it passes through your nose, it opens up, lets the air pass through more freely. You slowly start to relax into your body. Not trying to clear it or force any air through, just noticing it. Not willing yourself to make it better or trying to change it. Just accepting it, loving it, appreciating it, valuing your nose, thanking your nose for doing all the work it does. Filtering out this nice polluted air that we breathe in every day. Maybe you have to sneeze, maybe you do, maybe you don't. It's okay. It's energy just trying to clear. I just sneezed. I muted myself. So from here, continue to allow the air to pass through our nose. But we're going to notice that our eyes are open. And we're just going to keep letting the air through our nose, feeling it, appreciating it. Noticing our nose clog up again. And we're just going to take our hands, circle them behind us, once, twice, and 3 times with both. Try and look at where both of our fingers were simultaneously. Go ahead and put your hands back out. Keep blessing the earth. And now we're not looking at the earth, trying to focus on it anymore. We're just noticing that it's there. Saying, hey man, we see you too. But we also see all this other shit, right? So just keep your hands out in front of you. Let the love, kindness, intention pass through your hands. And what you'll notice is your thoughts are becoming a little bit more clear. The fog in your mind is slowly fading away. And your eyes are relaxing. Maybe you have to blink a couple times, but we're not looking at anything in particular. And this is actually giving our brains a rest, right? So if you can just put yourself in this awareness, maybe not when you're trying to work on something, but if you can just take the time throughout the day to do this, you'll notice your brain starts to shift to a different way of perceiving things. And this is actually the full spectrum picture that you want to approach your problems from. So from here, keep your hands pointed out. Notice what you're seeing, what you're not seeing. And we're going to go ahead and open up our ears. And there it is right there, just letting it in, not closing anything out. And just like you might have to relax your eyes, maybe you have to relax your ears too, however you do that. Go ahead and take a deep breath. Hold it. Swirl it. Let it out. And when you send out, even though it might feel like negative energy passing through you, Chogun Trungpa says, what we're actually doing is we're breathing in the pain of the earth and we're breathing out the love, right? And so you want to get to the point inside your heart where you can say, give me everything. Give me your pain, give me your struggles. I will take them and turn them into love. There are very high-level teachers that would argue that we're actually the heart chakra of the earth. And so go ahead and take another breath. Hold it. Swirl it. Send it out as love, connection, fulfillment, faith, hope, all that stuff. This is what the ancients called alchemy. There's a book called Emotional Alchemy. You might like it. From here, your ears should still be open. Your eyes not focused. Your nose, letting it through. Your mouth is full of saliva. And that's where you are right now. Keep blessing the earth. Send it out. Notice how wet or dry your mouth is. Maybe your tongue is swollen. Maybe you bit your lip or something. Love that canker sore. Just feeling grateful that we even have a fucking mouth to begin with. From here, we're going to transition into our bodies, moving the awareness in a full spectrum awareness, trying to feel our ears, our toes, our eyelids, our fingernails, our knees, our internal organs, our digestive system, our large intestines, all of it. As we move into this awareness, something you recognize is how busy everybody is in your body, and you don't even have to do anything about it. And just recognizing that and being grateful that all these organisms are self-directing, co-creating together to make your reality. Go ahead and keep your hands out. Keep blessing the earth. From here, we're going to send this violet center from our core, have it go all the way around the earth. See if we can't do it in one shot. Go ahead, take a deep breath. Hold it. Let it out. From here, go ahead. Take your hands, put them in your lap. Close your eyes. Breathe naturally. Just follow the air through your nose. Just relax. Just sit back in the knowingness, the trust that you have for your body. Know how safe you are, how right you are, how guided you are, how respected you are, how loved you are, how eagerly anticipated you are, how anxiously awaited you are, how great you are, how magnificent you are, how beautiful you are, how approachable you are, how relatable you are, how wealthy you are. You are all these things and more. And as we let these things pass through our aura, we recognize that the only reason they pass through are because they are true. Just right then and there, that little simple correction could be the one thing you needed to make that shift in your life. Life has an interesting way of unfolding. It always unfolds like a kinked up piece of paper. Never really folded in a specific direction or going in a specific place. But watching the things unravel and recognize that they grow while they do. It's almost as if everything is unraveling at its own will. And it's growing by its own will. There is no separation. There is no duality. There's only light. And the choice to deny it. Nothing else exists. The love that you feel is just another version of light. The things that you see, just another version of love. Everything in your reality, high, low, and in between, it's just a manifestation of light, maybe with some shadows in it. See, without the shadows, we can't see the light. Without the light, we can't see the shadows. They play off each other, but they understand neither are the true reality. Reality is what's underneath it. Reality is what the light shows that the darkness hides. That's reality. Reality is the truth. Reality is the fundamental substrate of nature. It's the thing that is there after you disappear. Reality is the laws of the universe. The undenying, unchanging laws. The fundamental concepts that never, ever shift. They're always there, always true. Always there for you to understand. Whether you're a musician, a mathematician, a programmer, a scholar, an author, a leader. They're all there. Whatever you choose to do, it's already there for you. All you gotta do is look. Ask. We can't just give you these things. It doesn't work that way. You have to become capable of wielding the sword. So we see you putting in your time in the weight room. We understand you are training. But as much as your training is almost complete, it's nearly just begun. There is no getting there. There is no ultimate point. You're here to be here, to see it through, to finish what you started. You're here to be you as much as you can, to the fullest extent possible. Nobody else is here to be you. What happens if you don't be you? What happens if you go back? Let's switch it up. What do you see? Where are you? How do you feel? What's the energy like? Dense. Kind of tough, right? Almost uncomfortable. Do you want to live here? Do you want your life to be this? You want to stay here? Do you want this? Let's go lower. What about now? How's this for you? Does it feel like you can make a lot of progress here? But you could get real strong hanging out down here, huh? Real strong. Is that what you want? You see how dark it is? How dark you make it down here? This is your dungeon. Do you want to stay here? Then why is this place real? Why does this place exist? Why did we come here? Why do you have this in your mind? Why was I able to bring you down here? Why can we go deeper? It's time to start understanding the true reason you do these things to yourself. Let's go back up. Put your hands on your lap. Close your eyes. Stop trying to hold on to your pain. Stop claiming your pain. It's not yours to claim. You didn't earn it. It's not yours. Give it to me. Go ahead and put your hands out. Sending our love and intention to Mother Earth. Gifts of gratitude, recognition, awareness. Thanking her. Point your hands downward. Just let the energy fall through. Go ahead, put your hands on your hips. Just sit, just sit, just sit, just sit. Slowly coming back into your body, wiggle your fingers and your toes. Shake your butt. Swirl your neck around. Open your eyes. There you go. Appreciate you going to that dark place with me. I know just as well as you do that it exists. And I wanted to show you how easy it is to bring yourself out of it. I want you to recognize it's always a choice. If you ever find that you can't do this on your own, use me. I'm here for you. With that, let's give thanks to Divine Supreme Father, Divine Mother, to all the ascended masters, holy teachers, saints, sages, archangels, especially to our teachers, Jeshua and Joseph. We humbly receive your blessings and thank you for being with us as we went to some uncharted places. Continue to guide us as we go on our way. Bring us sweet dreams in our night and wake us to ecstatic, motivational mornings. Give us a reason to live for and guide us as we continue on our journey. With that, we say, Amen. Blessings to you. I appreciate you going there with me. It takes a lot of guts. I love you. Yeah. It's okay to say that. High five. Alright, I'll be back. Stay tuned. Watch this again. Please share it with somebody. It's a little long. It's a little out there.